The movie begins with several American and French officers gathering in the Sonoran Desert as they get the news of the presence of some planes. However, they can't communicate with each other, so an American translator named David, who knows English and French, communicates with the French scientist Claude Lacombe. The American and French group of officers head to the plane and see that it is Flight 19, a flight of United States Navy Grumman TBM Avenger torpedo bombers that went missing over the Bermuda Triangle on December 5, 1945. The strange part is that the old plane's condition is new, with no humans inside, either dead or alive. When they talk to an old native, he reveals that the last night sun appeared, making his face sunburnt. He behaves strangely, saying that the sun sang to him. At the air traffic control room in Indianapolis, an officer communicating with a pilot asks him if he sees anything appearing in front of his plane. However, the pilot replies negatively, and the strange thing the air traffic controller was talking about instantly passes beside the plane. The officer keeps asking the pilot if he saw something, to which the pilot finally responds that he can't understand what he just saw as it was too bright and strange to be comprehended, which could have been a UFO. At night, in a rural house in Muncie, Indiana, a 3-year-old child named Barry sleeps in his bedroom when suddenly his toys start operating themselves. This awakens him, and he rushes to the ground floor where he sees everything moving. The refrigerator is opened with food and drinks spilling out while he sees something strange and smiles. Barry's toys go to his mom, Jillian's room, who thinks Barry has woken up and is causing a disturbance in the house. As she goes to his room to scold him, she finds the room empty, and when she looks out of the window, she finds Barry running towards the jungle. This startles her, and she chases after him. An electrician named Roy is having a nice time with his family. His wife Ronnie and children plan how to spend their weekend, after which the telephone rings. Ronnie picks up, and an officer tells her they are facing a power outage across the city and need Roy's help fixing this. As Ronnie gives the receiver to Roy, the officer asks him to head to the control office and fix the damage. As they talk, the power goes out in Roy's home too, and with this, the whole city sinks into darkness. Roy picks up some of his belongings and leaves for the control room in his truck. However, he forgets the route on his way, so he takes out the map to understand it. He takes a while doing so, and in the meantime, a UFO appears behind him with red and yellow lights, and Roy, still focusing on the map, thinks it is another car. He singles the UFO with his hand, which hovers in the air, causing objects around Roy's car to move. As Roy looks up at the sky, he is startled by the massive lightning of the UFO, and suddenly many objects start coming inside his truck. As soon as the UFO leaves, everything returns to normal, leaving Roy shocked and skeptical about what happened to him. Roy's face is sunburnt, just like the old man in the Sonoran Desert. Clueless, he heads back to his home, and because it's dark, he can't see much on the roads. Meanwhile, Barry, who ran into the woods, emerges on the road right in front of Roy's car. Fortunately, his mother catches him before Barry is hit by Roy's truck. Many other folks are on the road too, and suddenly, 3 UFOs pass that area, shocking people. The UFOs are already being followed by many police cars, and Roy decides to follow them too. However, one of the police cars falls off a bridge while chasing the UFO, prompting Roy to stop. The UFOs go into the sky, causing massive lightning in the clouds. Meanwhile, many researchers are surprised to find SS Cotopaxi, a ship lost due to wreckage in 1925, in the middle of the Gobi Desert, Mongolia, out of nowhere. Later, Lacombe and David arrive in India as they are informed people in India are experiencing strange voices coming from the sky. As many Indian people gather on the ground, they point towards the sky while listening to a voice that sounds more like a song. Lacombe calls a press conference in which he addresses many officers, telling them that he thinks the song has a significant meaning. He then delivers everyone a key to this song, with images of several hand gestures. These gestures are used to teach deaf people music, and using the same gestures, he tells everyone the order of the tune so that everyone can memorize the tune and say something in response using gestures. He thinks aliens are trying to communicate with humans using this tune, and he wants some humans to learn sign language in case aliens arrive and they must communicate. On the other hand, Roy and many people have gathered to see the UFO, and there, Jillian and Barry are also present. She talks to Roy, and he sees that Barry is building a mountain-like structure with clay. Seeing this, Roy is confused as he thinks he has already seen the mountain and concludes there is a connection between the UFOs and the mountain. Jillian also recognizes the mountain, similar to what she has seen in her visions. Suddenly, the UFO appears, and everyone is excited to see it. However, a government helicopter chases it, causing a disturbance in the air, and everyone leaves. Cut to the Goldstone Radio Telescope Station 14, where scientists have been trying to communicate with aliens using the same tune heard in India. However, in response, they have received a series of meaningless numbers: 104, 44, 30, 40, 36, 10. Suddenly, scientist Laughlin, with his cartography background, recognizes this series of numbers as a location on Earth. As they all take out an Earth globe, they trace the location to Wyoming, Dewis Tower, the same mountain that Roy and Jillian had seen in their visions, and that Barry built with clay. Later, Jillian is seen drawing the mountain, and then she throws away all the sketches she drew. Suddenly, she sees some disturbance in the sky behind the black clouds and becomes scared. She rushes to Barry and then locks all the doors and windows of her home due to the increasing disturbance outside. Barry opens the door somehow to reveal an extremely bright yellow sky outside, and Jillian closes it again. She tries contacting the police as everything inside her home is trembling, like a terrible earthquake. Barry cunningly opens the door and gets outside, and Jillian follows him. However, it's too late as Barry has already been abducted to nowhere, leaving behind his mother alone. The next day, many government officials called the local people to a meeting to ask them if they saw any UFOs in the sky, to which everyone agreed. To clarify, one of the officers shows them a picture of a UFO flying in the sky, and everyone responds positively that they saw a similar thing in the sky. However, the officer tells them that it's a fake image of a plate flying in a circular motion in the sky, and he showed them the picture to trick their vision. The officers want to change people's mentality about the ongoing situation, making them believe that there is no UFO in the country and everything they hear nowadays is false. A special team of selected individuals from America has then been created. If the scientists successfully communicate with the aliens and aliens allow them to enter their planet, then this team will be sent. Scientists, along with this team, head to Wyoming, Dewis Tower. Later, Roy is shown making Dewis Tower with the food served on the table as he can't just overcome its repeated visions. Ronnie and his children are sad to see him behaving strangely. And then he goes to his room, where he starts building the tower again with clay. He locks himself in the bathroom, and Ronnie keeps asking him to open the door. As he doesn't comply, Ronnie forcefully uses keys to enter the washroom and discovers a scared Roy because of the repeated visions. The next morning, Roy breaks the mountain he built from the clay from its upper end and realizes it is now the exact shape of the mountain he saw in his visions. Excited, he starts putting random things from outside into his house to build another giant mountain, prompting people and his family to believe that he has gone insane. Ronnie takes the children with her and leaves Roy alone, as she can't bear his insane behavior anymore. Saddened, Roy returns to his home and again builds the mountain. He then listens to the news where the newscaster reports fake news that a train wreck has spilled a toxic nerve gas near Dewis Tower in Wyoming, so the area is being evacuated to save lives. The picture of the Dewis Tower is shown, making Roy believe his visions are true. Jillian also sees the same broadcast and is convinced about the validity of her visions. Eventually, Jillian and Roy head to the Dewis Tower separately, not knowing that the traffic has blocked the roads. They meet each other and then move towards the tower in a car using an alternative way. On their way, they see various dead animals, making them think that the news about toxic gas can be true, so they wear safety masks. They both are eventually stopped by some government workers and taken to the authorities. Lacombe and David meet with Roy and Jillian and warn them that visiting the area near Dewis Tower is dangerous. However, Roy doesn't believe him, claiming the news about the gas is fake. Lacombe and David later talk to an army general, saying that all who have seen UFOs are encountering visions of Dewis Tower. These people won't be satisfied unless they visit the Dewis Tower and would never believe the fake news of toxic gas. The general understands that these people's lives are at risk, so he asks Lacombe and David to leave these people back to their homes. All the people who saw UFOs are sent in a helicopter under the Army General's orders, and the preparations of leaving them to their homes begin. However, Roy, Jillian, and another man escape and head to the tower themselves cunningly. The news of their escape spreads to the authorities, and the army officers are ordered to spread sleeping gas across the tower so the trio can't go further. This induces sleep in the third friend of Jillian and Roy. However, the couple successfully reaches the top of the tower, where they see a giant base of scientists with many pieces of equipment and are ready to communicate with the UFOs. Suddenly, 3 UFOs arrive there, and Lacombe communicates with them through hand gestures. The same tune is played that was heard in India, and listening to this, the UFOs stop in the sky. As the tune is repeated, the UFOs leave, exciting everyone. However, a giant disturbance is created in the sky, causing many clouds to cover the Duis Tower. And seeing this, Roy leaves Jillian and goes to the base alone. Several UFOs appear, and a giant mother spaceship arrives, scaring everyone. The mother spaceship's door opens, and many humans come out. These humans include those abducted by the UFOs or who went missing from the Bermuda Triangle, Cotopaxi sailors, World War II pilots, etc., along with some animals. Barry also comes running, and Jillian rushes to hug her lost child. Then, many aliens come out of the spaceship to surprise everyone. The team that was earlier prepared to send to the aliens' planet arrives, and now Roy is included in this team. The aliens select only one person who can visit with them, and that person is, fortunately, Roy. All the aliens and Roy enter the spaceship except one with whom Lacombe communicates through hand gestures. The alien copies him, smiles, and heads back to its spaceship, which ascends into space.